Hello and welcome back to Kisa Design. Today we have something really special for you. A custom watch in a color we have never done before. We are happy to be able to finally show this project to you. We've been working on it for a few months already. As always, it is the result of a very close interaction between the customer and us. As you might know, we have done blue watches in the past. They came in a very deep, saturated cobalt blue. But that's not what the customer wanted this time. One of his favorite colors is ice blue. I remembered that I had already achieved a very interesting color when I did some experimenting with anodizing titanium a few years ago. This was only for creating a color chart to get an idea of the achievable spectrum. But I've never built a full ice blue watch so far. I was really excited to finally make it happen. With all the positive feelings about the new color, there also came some concerns about the technical feasibility. But we will come to that point in another video. The color is a trigger for all kinds of amazing association. It reminds me of a trip to a glacier in Patagonia that I did 10 years ago. The sun shimmering through the huge spikes of ice created the exact same color that we are trying to replicate here. It gives you the feeling of purity and clarity as you would get on a walk on a cold, sunny winter morning. Speaking about the sun, what I find especially pleasing about the watch is that the customer decided to add subtle accents in his favorite color, orange. Actually, orange is the complementary color to blue, and that's why it works so perfectly. Well, those are my associations. What pops into your mind when you think of that color scheme? Let me know in the comments. We had a lot of fun during the design of the watch. Everyone brings a new inspiration to the table, and it's a good feeling when both the customers and our ideas form a perfect symbiosis, as in this watch. Enough said about the design. In the end, the watch has to be built physically. And that's what we're turning to now. Our watches contain countless parts that we manufacture in our own workshop. We selected 3 parts that we want to highlight in more detail in this and the following videos. That is the caseback, the dial, and the movement holding ring. Let's head over to the workshop and start producing some titanium chips. I already have the parts here, the raw material, so to say, that we make the parts from. This is a titanium grade 5 tube that I use for machining movement holding rings. Then I have titanium grade 5 rings that are used for the casebacks. The casebacks where I put a sapphire crystal so that you can look at the beautiful watch movement. And the dial on this watch is going to have our signature honeycomb pattern on it. And as I said, it's going to come in a very interesting color. I made a list of all the parts and of the steps that we need to go through in order to arrive at the finished parts. What I need to do first is mill the casebacks. I will have a look at my cut program. I have to check what I need to do, what kind of tools I use. So actually what I do is I machine the caseback from 2 sides. It has a rather complex shape and it has a groove for the gasket where I put the gasket for the sapphire crystal. It needs to be very, very precise. I machine it from the inside, so to speak, and then I machine it from the outside. And I need plenty of different tools here, but for side number 1 I only need 2 different ones, and then the more complex one will be side number 2. We start with a 6mm end mill and then we continue with a 4mm end mill. I will put the program on a USB stick and then transfer it to the machine. Then we can measure in the tools and start machining. So here we are in front of the milling machine. I have the program on the USB stick, which I will put in the machine. I already put the fixture on the machine that I need for machining the Casebacks, and I will also continue measuring in the correct length of the different tools that I'm going to use, so the drills and the end mills. And then basically all that's left to do is to put the blanks on the machine, push the button and hope for the best. Okay, I've touched off all the tools. The machine knows the correct length. Now I can put the raw ring on the machine and use the probe to find the center of the ring. And then it's basically just running the program. Alright, this diameter is supposed to be 32.7 millimeters. It's 32.72, so we are actually almost there. I could run the program for the last contours one more time to maybe get rid of 1 or 2/100th of a millimeter, or maybe it has to do also with the burrs. That could also be the case. But what I will also check is with the case itself, if there is a good fit between the case and the Caseback here, and if that's alright, then we can leave it even if it's 3/100th of a millimeter more in diameter than actually the construction says. We have machined the first side of the Caseback. Now we flip it to the other and we do the rest of the machining. Here we have the finished Caseback. As you can see, the Caseback is already meticulously finished and anodized in ice blue. If you want to see how that is done and how we work on various other parts of the watch, such as the dial and the special movement holding ring, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out our next videos. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.